Hey everybody, this is Miss Naranjo here, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce and take you step by step through the Quarter 3 Module 4 application assignment talking about seasons. For this one, earlier in the module with the different assignments, we did give you guys kind of different types of activities or different types of assignments to do based off of seasons, the rotation of the Earth, revolution of the Earth, and how, the different parts of the affect the seasons and how temperature changes. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to go over the first part of the application assignment, and then at various times I'm going to pause and have you guys either complete it and then come back and continue the video. So for this first part, for the guiding question, we're going to say, which location would you choose to live on based on temperature and sunlight conditions for that city? And then you're going to explain using the collection of data that we provided for you guys below. So the first step number one, is we want you guys to consider the seasons and conditions you'd prefer to live in if you had a choice. So we're going to have you ask yourself these questions, and you don't have to write them down. You just have to kind of think about them and process them. What type of temperature ranges do you prefer? So think about it. Are you somebody who is okay with having the same temperature throughout the year in the location you would want to live at? Do you like having the varying temperatures, or what do you prefer? The next question, would you want to live in an area that has multiple seasons throughout the year, or generally just like one or two different types of seasons? Question number three, are there outdoor activities that you'd like to do in the area that allowed you to do most part of the year? So is it somewhere where you would like to have different types of seasons? So you could go sledding or snowing in the winter, and then summertime would be warm and kind of hot type of weather, and then the fall and autumn kind of be, or would you want somewhere where it's generally just cold so you could go skiing year round, or generally just warm so you can go swimming year round, or those types of things? So take a minute and think about that, and then I'm going to pause. I'm going to have you guys pause it and then come back. Hey guys, welcome back. Let's go ahead and do the next part, which is going to be the second step for the application assignment. And this one is going to be pretty easy. Now you're going to go ahead and just put down in the Google document that is down below, you're going to answer which location, A, B, C, or D, would you like to live in, and why? So here you go ahead, and if you scroll down in the blue data table, you're going to see here is location A, and it shows the daylight hours and the temperature ranges in Fahrenheit and Celsius. You're probably more familiar with Fahrenheit, so that you might want to use those. Then location B, same thing, the daylight hours, the temperature, and then also location C. Here's the daylight hours, and here is the temperature ranges, and then location D, the daylight hours and temperature ranges. So you're going to look at that data table. We did not put any city in there because we want you guys to just look at the numerical data. We just want you to look at that and analyze where you would based off of those two things. On the data table, on the Google Docs, right here, you're just going to go to the first question, and it says, which location would you like to live and why? And you're going to give a personal reason. Now, the personal reason does not have to be scientifically. It could just be because you like something versus the other, or you kind of give a little bit of an explanation. On the application assignment, we do have a teacher model that kind of gives an example of what a response potentially could be here. So if you would like to read this model and see what one of the teacher models put down, you're welcome to. They did not use the same exact location as the ones that you guys have a choice on. So copying this answer would probably is obviously not a good idea, but it's not going to be correct because it doesn't associate with any of the choices that you guys have there. So take a minute, again, go back to that Google Doc that's already inserted in there, and answer which location based on the data would you like to go ahead and live at. Okay, and I'm Hey guys, welcome back. Let's go ahead and do the next section for the Quarter 3 Module 4 application assignment, and that is going to be the three part, and which is going to be fill out the blank data table in the Google Docs for your location of your choice using the unknown cities. So again, in your external tool down there, here is the data table that you're going to go ahead and fill out information for, and you're going to find that information on this blue data table chart right here. So let's go ahead and say, all right, I went ahead and chose location D. I'm going to take my daylight hours for months that are January, April, July, and October, and then the temperature ranges, and I'm going to insert them into my data table right here. Then this next part right here is going to be information that you guys are going to have to infer. You're going to have to look at the daylight hours and the temperature ranges and determine what if the tilt of the Earth and the sunlight intensity, what it's like during that time period based off of that information and if there are any seasons. So for example, if I go ahead and take a look at this data table for location D in January, I see that there's 14 hours of sunlight. And it looks like it's going to be a 60 to 79 degrees temperature difference. So for me, if I look at that, I'm going to be saying, okay, I know that's a pretty long day. And I know that if it was going to be any type of seasons, I might equate that to something like being my summer. So I would say maybe knowing what summers are like, because if I take a look at a globe and I take a look at a flashlight and have that there, I'm going to say, what area, what time of year would I have longer days and warmer temperatures? So would that mean that I'm getting a lot of light? Would that intensity be great, or would that light intensity be minimal? And then if the seasons, if I was to equate that to a season I have already in my, what we already experience here in Colorado, what season would have longer days and warmer temperatures? So make an inference in that. Another good maybe tip would be going back to looking at that CPUP demonstration, interactive demonstration that it shows, and looking at it, you can see here in January on that northern hemisphere, it's not getting that direct sunlight. That sunlight is going to be based off of more of the southern hemisphere and the equator area. So in January, when we think about it, which we're in right now, we're not having long days. We're not having warm temperatures. But in the southern hemisphere, they are getting lots of that light and they are getting warmer temperatures. So our seasons are going to be opposite from each other. So look at that. Think about that tilt of the Earth. Think about how that affects different places around the world, and think about what season it possibly could be based on your daylight hours and your temperature ranges. Hey guys, last part that we're going to go ahead and do, which is going to be part 4 and 5 for the Module 4 application assignment. And on this last part, what you're going to do down here is there are part 4 and part 5. So part 4, you're going to go ahead and how does the revolution and the tilt impact your location through the year? So you're going to go ahead and, again, analyze the amount of light and the temperatures. And based on that, you're going to go ahead and infer and write about if you think that it is tilted away, meaning that it is away from the sun. So, example, the sun is hitting here, but the northern hemisphere is tilting away, the southern hemisphere is getting hit. Or is it going to be the opposite way, in which the sun is going to be hitting the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere? Or if they think it's going to be in that middle part there where it's going to have the same amount of daylight and the same amount of temperature throughout. So this is where, again, you're taking that information and you're going to go ahead and infer again and kind of put into written terms more in a concise basis how you think that works out. And then the last one is now you're going to go ahead and explain your location choice using the required vocabulary such as daylight hours, temperature, tilt, Earth, and revolution in a scientific manner. So the first question we asked you to just go ahead and say why you prefer. Now we're going to go ahead and have you guys use those scientific terms and go ahead and put it together in a concise, like a paragraph information. Again, they're at the very bottom of the application assignment down here. where it says highlighted, here's an example of the teacher model. It gives you what a teacher would have had put down for her location, what she did for the chart, and you can look at the examples. She also put down how to explain, and then also how that tilt and location impact. So you're welcome to go ahead and look through the example down below and use it as kind of a guide to help you what needs to be included in there. Again, obviously this location that the teacher put down as her model is not one of the 4 locations for you to choose from. So you copying the information or any way using it the same way is not going to be helpful because it doesn't relate back to your location. And the last part is going to be, there's also going to be included a rubric. Make sure you go over the rubric and look at what you need to include on each of those parts to go ahead and get the full points possible. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your science teacher and they will help you more along with the process. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.